Hello, I just want to shoot a very quick video of this 200mm Honyaki technique in a very special steel to me, SC Super Clean 125, European small batch steel. Very specialised cutlery steel, which has been made simply because we don't have a clean, low alloy carbon steel equivalent at all available to us, other than the sort of lower grade white 2, which is available from Japan, you can get it from various places, but this is more even cleaner than white steel. The carbon content's about the same as in the lower range of white 1. It's perfect for Honyaki in this sense, and absolutely, what's on the tin, it's completely consistent. To me it's like an old stock white 1. I've been lucky enough to use a steel like this, and I'm using it, in the true sense of full hardness. It's going for sort of 65, 66 on the edge. It's water quenched, absolutely, the full caboodle. The whole knife is forged. You can see the spine, the way you can only do that with forging. I won't talk too much about the geometry. I'm just going to show you what it's like. I'll talk about the weight. I'd say this is a medium weight. It's not quite as heavy on the spine as 4mm. It's just a bit less. It's thicker than 4mm where it enters the handle. There's no flex to it, and you get a little bit of flex the last third. But this is a bit lighter, and it can be because it's Honyaki and it's all fully hardened. Of course, the clay tempering with the water, so the spine's softer. I've got a Western handle on this one, slightly more Western influenced profile, a little bit more European chef knife. I just fancied trying that, but a kind of East meets West, and we've got a Western, one of my beautiful Western handles here, with some beautiful elderberry. And some raffia, which is a composite of plant matter and resin. So there we go. I'm going to do some quick cutting with it anyway. Very nice in the hand, just balances there. Handle's really nice for a pinch or hammer. And we'll have a look. I'm just going to do a very quick food and prep, and then for my lunch, off the cuff, totally off the cuff. So demonstrate this fineness. And then we'll have a look at some patina. Afterwards, only just going to do enough food for my lunch, and so fine. Get some different views. So let's do an onion, show the release, because it's a little bit, tiny bit of a thinner knife. But the release is really fantastic. I'm only going to use half this potato. The release is just beautiful. Let's do some carrot, so you can hear. I mean, yeah, the release, it's just perfect, the release. And believe me, the sword polishing, we've got a lot of polishing work going on here, and you've got a higher priced, higher end product. Yeah, you've got a mixture of styles here. I've got very much the edge, the whole lower bevel is basically sword polished, so it's been done on stones and then laterally polished, and that meets the more modern style abrasives I've used on that, to a very low grit on the mid part of the knife, rather beautifully. And believe me, these little steps, they do make a difference. But one thing I would say is, if you're going to use this knife every day, you want to maintain it, you need to know your stones. It's going to be easier to maintain that something that's been badly done, because it's there for you to maintain, you know, as it should be from the off. So just going to talk a little bit about the feel of different steels and the heat treatment. I mean, white one is for a reason. It's the most sought after. And I think there's a certain amount of misunderstanding, because in the West we favour tougher knives. It's a little bit hard to understand that the extra carbon in something equivalent to white one, so this is Super Clean 125, goes to producing extra wear resistance. It lowers toughness. The extra carbon really lowers toughness, produces cementite, and that's actually the aim. And this particular steel, Super Clean 125, it's got 1.25% carbon, and that extra carbon above 0.8 goes into producing cementite, and that actually lowers the toughness of the steel. It's still an incredibly tough steel. There's a little bit extra manganese in this steel, and that does make it tougher than white one, which is again a good thing and a bad thing, because the last thing you want when you're doing extreme geometries with relatively heavier knives, you have to have it as thin as can be, not here but right down into the edge, basically almost no micro bevel, just the tiniest hair of micro bevel, and then it works as it should. And with very tough steels, even at very, very high hardness, 63, 64 even, depends on the steel, it can still distort on a very thin edge. And that's exactly what you don't want. It's better that it, if pushed to the limit, it chips just a tiny bit than distorts. Just like a tiny, tiny, tiny grain of sand chip is easier to get out. And that's what these steels are about, and that's why people who sharpen tend to understand better. So this steel It's so thin I can flex it easily at any point with my thumbnail with that amount of pressure. You can see the edge distort, and if I push it and push it, I can't actually chip it with my thumbnail. It's the toughness, I would say, is over white one, and that has good sides and bad sides. Because of the manganese in the steel, it's a bit tougher. That actually means it's a little bit harder to work than white one, and a little bit tougher to just shed that dirt, only just a touch. Once it's down to thinness, it's like butter to sharpen, it's beautiful. But it can be a bit tougher to get it there. And I think it's hard to say because I've only used that old stock white one in. I'm just going to cut some meat, see if we can get some pattern on this. See, I might not have been happy to do that with hard plastic. With a full-on white one heat treatment, whereas I'm really just mashing this up to see if we can get a bit of a blend and have some pattern. I'll rinse this off with hot water. I'll have a look. That's my. I'm going to make a Spanish type omelette. Some spicy. Rinse that off with hot water and let it dry out. And then I'll stop this because I don't want it to be too long to upload. Honyaki looks absolutely gorgeous. So I've been using this knife for 2 weeks before completely finishing it, testing it. Other pieces I've done destruction testing on. I'm really pleased with it. So I'm going to be producing just darkening gorgeously. You can see the blues and are going to come very, very nicely in there. And if you don't like patina in carbon steel, you're crazy. Just stick to stainless steel. Okay, that's it for me. This little guy will go up for sale by the weekend. Okay, thank you, bye.